today's day and age, it's more and more starting to point towards the ability to measure quality earlier in the development cycle. So before we might catch on in the test stage, unit test, integration test, end-to-end testing, you really want to identify any kind of quality issues as early as possible. We all know that, right? It's 3x times cheaper to develop it up front than it is and find it in testing. So in order to do that, you start to have to introduce new tools, new methods, new dashboards, and metrics that'll allow you through code reviews, automated software searches and such, to identify those flaws in either the architecture or the code early on and correct it. Where it gets a little bit more obtuse is when you get outside of IT, right? So you need to put it in the terminology that's going to resonate with the decision makers. And as we said earlier, they're outside of the CIO shop, right? So you need to resonate with them and you need to link it together. And one way you can do that is by executing on what we sometimes call signature projects, or identifying a signature moment where you go after a specific part of a business process and the applications behind it. You drive through change that aligns with the business objectives of that particular enterprise or unit that are seen as transformational in nature, or the key ones that they have. And then from a software quality and application perspective, we want to instill right down below all the metrics we need. Very often that brings Agile into it, brings into it DevOps, which talks about continuous development, continuous release and deploy, continuous testing. Those last two, continuous release and deploy, continuous testing, are critical points to measure quality and ensure that you're catching any kind of defects before it moves further into testing or even up into production.